Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, right on the dot. Good to see everyone back here. Aldo, first one here. Awesome. First one in the comments. It's great to see you back. If you're new to the channel, awesome. The first 15 to 30 minutes, we're going to dive into the charts pretty deeply, pretty heavily, and quickly. So we're going to rock and roll, jump into it right away. And then the second half of the stream, make sure to comment any assets you'd like me to cover, whether it's crypto, stocks, Forex, whatever it is. Just let me know all the details, the ticker symbol, if you're in a long position, short position, whatever it is, or you're just waiting patiently for the next possible buy the dip scenario. Just let me know and we'll take a look at it together. So with that, let's get rock and rolling here. We're looking at the Bitcoin weekly chart, right? Not much movement since yesterday. It's pretty much flat today at 0.14%. So that's pretty much flat in the crypto world. So we'll take a look at it here. And really the weekly chart, since that last buy signal here at $28,000 and price then regained the 200-week moving average, it's been pretty much up only ever since. And you can see the orange candles going back to the late October. Price has been overbought, AKA sometimes when the magic happens. That's why we have a magic wand as kind of an inside joke. Actual on the indicator itself, you can see a magic wand here because it's overbought, quote unquote, as many traders, investors will say. And then, but it's sometimes when the magic happens, and you can see like once it started to get overbought, it just remained overbought, right? So you can see here on the weekly chart, this is the fourth target out of 4 longer term targets. Of course, we could add more targets, but at the bottom, we're covering this and mapping it out that there were 4 longer term targets. And here we are 12 months later, prices hit target 1, target 2, and target 3. And now it's past target 3 and is trending towards target 4. So target 4 still remains. It's the only target that we had at the bottom that has not been hit yet. And we've been talking about it even through this consolidation period here. There are signs of a possible future reversal, but we haven't had a sell signal on the daily chart. We'll drop down the daily chart, kind of take a look at what I'm talking about and what we're going over. And I put on here this horizontal line, just letting us keeping a reminder that the halving is estimated to be April 17th. I think it was the last time I took a look at it. It's been fluctuating from the 13th to the 18th. And the last time I looked at it was the 17th. The actual day doesn't really matter that much to me. I just have it on the chart as an awareness that in previous cycles, and not that it's going to happen again, but just as an awareness, previous cycles, Bitcoin kind of topped out, then had a bigger correction before the halving, and then started to make its next move out again before the next halving. So we'll see if that plays out again. It's just an idea, just a thought that, we could possibly, come up in the fourth target, then go through a correction, kind of let the moving averages catch up, let the trending dots kind of catch up. We've been talking about this for more than a month as it was consolidating, going through this part here. So if we drop down the daily chart, this is what we've been kind of talking about. The daily chart, quick recap was, prices oversold. There was bullish divergence followed by a reversal candle, higher low, and then price took off to the upside, right? So what we've been covering even on the daily chart is that price is overbought. There's bearish divergence. Price is overbought, bearish divergence, continued bearish divergence, right? No confirmed low or high, right? No sell signal yet, right? It just continues to move towards target 4 with the bias that the weekly chart is ultra bullish, with a bias of market direction that the monthly chart is bullish, right? And the bias that the daily chart is also bullish with no sell signal yet. So still continue to move up. We had these lines drawn out as well, right? We had it drawn out like this. And then, we had the arrows. If it breaks out to the upside, we could see this target and then possible correction afterwards. Both correction ideas were based off of buy the next dip, right? The next buy the dip opportunity, possibly before the next halving. And so those two ideas still remain, but obviously we're leaning towards scenario one, where it comes up like this, right? Then comes back down, maybe puts in a lower high, and then for the next buy the dip opportunity before the next halving, and then comes out. So that's what we've been talking about since back here, right? So since back there more than a month ago. Or the second scenario was, puts in a lower high, lower high, lower high, and then comes back down for the next buy the dip opportunity. Both of them were potential buy the dip opportunities, and we'll see if it works out or not. Of course, it could be up only forever, right? Up only forever. I don't think so. Just as it wasn't down only forever. And, when price was around 16,800, we're calling out the breakout at the bottom with bullish divergence on the weekly chart, all that stuff. Not everyone, but a lot of people were still calling for $10,000 Bitcoin, $4,000 Bitcoin, right? So just as, the perma bulls will call out $100,000 Bitcoin end of 2022, $100,000 Bitcoin end of 2023. And now we'll see about 2024 as well. So end of 2024, we'll see if we're making all-time highs on Bitcoin by then. But the $10,000 Bitcoin and $100,000 Bitcoin isn't even on our radar yet. We still have to get to target 4 before we have to worry about, all-time highs, and then worry about possible $100,000 Bitcoin, right? So I know is great for influencing, right? Talking about $200,000 Bitcoin, $500,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, and Bitcoin going to zero, and Bitcoin $5,000 Bitcoin, right? Well, we're just going to call it as we see it, and we'll continue to sniper the markets together. And these were the two next buy the dip opportunities that we kind of mapped out in advance. This is one, and then the other one was it didn't break out, right? Especially even after the fake out, we were watching and waiting for it. There's a fake out to the upside, fake out to the downside, and then you can see it was starting to build momentum back up to the upside, and then broke out. So that's still what we're thinking. Of course, it could go much higher than target 4. It's always possible that can go higher than target 4, but until it does, we're just seeing if it's going to hit target 4 first, and then possibly go through a correction for the next buy the dip scenario. And some other assets that we've been looking at, Aldo Olsen, thanks for misspelling my name again, Olsen, because I mispronounce many people's names incorrectly. So we're keeping the balance over here. Can we look at PSIL ETF? I think I've watched you long enough to know what you're going to say. Weekly bearish, but bullish divergence, daily bullish. But let's see. Okay. Yeah. It's always good to get a second pair of eyes anyways, Aldo. So we'll circle back on the second half of the live stream and do everyone's request. Lawrence, what up, Lawrence? Welcome back. Javier, good morning. Welcome back to we're rocking and rolling today, and we're going to keep going here. We're going to go right down the list. I want to take a look at gold, right? So gold, after pumping all the way up to 2150, let's call it, right? Broke down from this upward trend line, broke down from the trailing dots, battled all the way back up, had bearish divergence, followed by, now it's breaking back down again with a sell signal. And that lines up. Caesar, good afternoon. Welcome back, Caesar. Welcome back. And that lines up with the dollar, right? The DXY, which I put in the title, is that, it looks like it's about to break out to the upside, right? And it looks like it's possible that we're going to see a buy signal in the near future. So we're calling it out before it happens, right? So there's some things lining up on the charts that the dollar could break out to the upside for a retracement, while that's my old Minnesota accent from when I was a kid. Still got a lot of family there. While the gold is breaking down with the sell signal, and crypto's going through its correction, and possible the NASDAQ and possible the Dow Jones SP 500. We're going to cover it all today. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. So gold had a sell signal yesterday, right? That's what I want to say. We talked about this a week ago, that silver. So 2 weeks ago, that silver had a sell signal. So we were talking about it could possibly be a lower high. We had this drawn out and we said, is silver leading the way, right? Was silver leading the way for gold? We talked about this on a possible lower high on the live streams. Then we talked about a sell signal back on Friday, December 29th. So we're looking at 11, 12 days. So almost 2 weeks ago, we talked about silver possibly leading the way for gold. And here we are 2 weeks later, 12 days later, 11 days later, there's a sell signal on gold. And we put out a tweet, right? We put out a post on the Twitter X app, and Ratty Fair, greetings, Ratty Fair, welcome. So we put out that that silver could be leading the way, and we put out a post on the Twitter X app with a poll that, hey, silver came all the way back down and did a round trip and retested the 200-week moving average. Is it possible that gold does that? Yeah, it's possible. Is it possible NASDAQ does it? Yes, it's possible. And we even said, is it possible that Apple does it, right? I don't know. That was before Apple had a sell signal, and we were posting that. Something, and Bitcoin, right? All things that are possible, but we don't know if it's going to happen or not. Just because silver did doesn't mean the rest of them will. But silver was kind of leading the way, had a sell signal over here. Then we had gold, just had a sell signal yesterday, right? So that's gold and silver. Taking a look at crypto, we've got Ethereum over here, right? So Ethereum had bearish divergence, reverse candle, lower high, sell signal, battled all the way back up. Looks like it's kind of back testing that upward trend line. Possible another sell signal. It has only hit one target so far of the retracements. So we got 4 shorter term targets drawn out, and Ethereum's only hit one so far, right? Sand has hit 4 targets out of 4 targets to the downside after having bearish divergence. It's possible that it's done correcting, but we'll see. It's too early to say, right? It's still bearish on the daily chart, and a higher probability is, breaking out of this downward trend line, having a buy signal. So just because there's a wick down there doesn't mean I'm buying, right? I'm waiting for a higher probability setup, similar to back here where, it was bearish, was breaking out, and then there's a buy signal, right? So I don't need to guess the bottom wick. I just need to wait for a higher probability reversal, right? So sand is still in its correction mode, had bearish divergence, had a sell signal, a lower high. We've been talking about this. We've been covering it. You filled that gap. Awesome. We can take a look at it if you want. You filled that gap. That's Unity Software. We've been covering AI stocks for a few months on the live streams and videos and stuff like that. So Mana, bearish divergence. We talked about a lower high, a sell signal breaking down. Again, I don't need to guess the bottom. I just need to wait for a higher probability reversal when there's a buy signal breaking out of a downward trend line. That's a pretty steep downward trend line. It might be changed in the near future. We don't know. Maybe it bounces, comes back down, puts in a higher low, and then breaks out after that. So these are pretty steep, but we'll see how it works out. As of right now, it's still drawn like this, right, on Mana, but we'll find out if it's going to put in another lower high and then comes back down, and then that would be the actual breakout from there. So that's Mana. Chainlink still battling the 200-week moving average, right? After hitting the 200-week moving average from the bottom that we were talking about and covering it, right? Started putting bearish divergence, put in a lower high, reversal candle, another lower high, sell signal, and now it's just still trending down. Remember, the red trending dots are still trending down. We'll find out. It looks like it was this very steep downward trend line started to break out and came right back down. So most likely we'll probably have to readjust the trend lines, right? Wherever that is, let it go through like its own, bottoming phase, right? And then play that next buy the dip scenario on Chainlink. DOT, after reaching all the way up to $9.60, what a move that was. We're in it to win it way back below $4. I was in $3.80, right? In it to win it. Bearish divergence. It's hit 2 targets to the downside so far. Bearish divergence, lower high, sell signal, and now the trending dots are trending downward, right? So kind of waiting for that next buy the dip scenario. It's possible that, you know my thoughts on being a pattern trader. I'm not a pattern trader, but I do look at patterns as a potential. What if this was similar to like a head and shoulders? Then we could possibly see lower targets down here to $5, $5.14, etc. We'll find out. We'll see if it breaks down from this trend line first, right? But as of right now, it's going through correction mode, and we're looking for that next possible buy the dip scenario, right? Looking for that next possible buy the dip scenario, whether that's up here, right? Down here, here, or here. We're just kind of waiting, watching, waiting for that next buy the dip scenario, wherever that is, wherever it turns out to be. That's what we're kind of watching. There are multiple reasons why it could come back down to this golden target here, this orange or this yellow target, this golden orange target down here, right? I'm trying to get my colors mapped out, but 2 targets to the downside so far on dot. Here's near, had bearish divergence, put in a lower high, sell signal, kind of battled back up, but the trending dots are trending downward, right? And so it's breaking back down again. It's only hit 1 target to the downside. If it goes up, the faster and more steeply or parabolic it goes, the faster it goes down, right? So near breaking down as we speak, and hit all the way up to $4.60. Hit this longer term target 1. If you kind of zoom out here on the weekly chart, right? Hit longer term target 1. This is the difference between the weekly chart and the daily chart. So even the weekly trending dots, if you kind of zoom out here, the weekly trending dots are back here at $2.35 roughly. And they're similar to a moving average where it's a moving target. So moving target, it could come back and put in a higher low, and that's healthy. That's a healthy correction. You don't want it to go straight up. Well, you probably do, but straight up and then straight back down, right? You want it to like build the stairs up. So higher low, higher low, higher low over time. This is the longer term weekly term targets, and this is the shorter term daily swing trading targets as of right now, right? So if you're trading this to the upside, right, all the way back here, we are in it to win it at $1.05, right? And if you haven't learned to take profits yet, how are you going to sell the top, right? I sold Bitcoin with 10x leverage at $61,000. I bought Bitcoin with leverage at $16,800. If you're not practicing swing trading, how are you going to sell the top, right? If you're not practicing taking profits and locking in profits and staying neutral and not being biased that it's up only forever or down only forever. If it was down only forever, you missed the $16,800 Bitcoin breakout. And if you thought it was up only, you missed taking profits at 61,000, right? So, we want to be in the habit of taking profit, locking in profits, staying neutral, and really swing trading the entire way, right? So let's keep going. Let's not get on a rant. Let's not get on a ramble. Let's keep going. That's near. Solana still hasn't even retraced to 1 shorter term target as of yet. It is currently below the trending dots. There is no sell signal yet. There's bearish divergence and then a lower high followed by a lower low. There was a sell signal. Let me take that back. There was a sell signal on January 7th. Now it's pumped back up in the trending dots. Still, the trending dots are trending downward, and it's back into this correction mode on Solana. So I'm sure people bought this wick here. But what we're going to be looking at is that, will it find support at target 1? We don't know yet. Will it find support at a key target 2 or target 3? There's multiple reasons why. That's why I made these yellow versus orange. There's even more reasons why that price could come back down to these 2 targets here. We don't know if it will or not, but there are several reasons why it could. And so we'll find out. We'll find out if it comes back below or not. There's bearish divergence, lower high, lower low on the daily chart. Sell signal a couple days ago, pumping back up, could put in another possible lower high, come down, put in a lower low, hit target one, and then we'll find out what the next buy the dip scenario is going to be. Whether that's going to be, here, right? Maybe that's the next buy the dip scenario. Maybe it's down here, or maybe it's all the way down here. We don't know yet. It's too early to say, but that's what that's our plan as of right now. And it's just trending back down as of right now. That is Solana. ETH versus BTC breaking down. Yep. Had that buy signal for and then it reversed right back down. So that's ETH versus BTC as of right now. And that makes sense because Bitcoin is trending towards target 4 over the past couple of days, whereas Ethereum is going through a correction and it had a sell signal. So you can already know that ETH BTC breaking down is already happening because Bitcoin was pumping up and Ethereum was going through a correction. So that's Solana. Cardano had bearish divergence, lower highs, lower low, right? Sell signal, lower low, and then continues to break down, letting the trending dots kind of catch up there. And it's hit 2 targets to the downside so far. So that's what we're watching on Cardano. Matic, bearish divergence, lower high, lower low, and could be finding support at the 200-week moving average. Too early to say. I didn't map out these targets, but I could. Eyeball test probably is hit retrace back to at least 2 targets so far to the downside. Probably looking at about 30%, right? 32.5% on Matic. So that's what we're kind of watching right there. You can see Cardano also down about 30%, which is very typical for crypto. What we always talk about is as it's pumping, as it's bullish longer term, that we're expecting pullbacks and corrections along the way, 20, 30% for Bitcoin or more. And in crypto, we're looking at 30, 40, possibly 50, 60, 70%. If you're watching things like TRB, 72% was the last time I looked at it for the correction. And that was a matter of like 4 hours, right? So as for the Bitcoin miners, right, it's hit some longer term targets. We're looking at from the weekly chart, kind of letting the trending dots catch up. You can see Bitfarm there, weekly chart, still bullish, but letting the trending dots and the moving averages kind of catch up. HUT came back to retrace to the trending dots as well, back in $11 there. Hive, probably very similar, letting the trending dots catch up. CLSK, letting the trending dots catch up, retested the 200-week moving average. Marathon Digital, letting the trending dots. All of these assets are fast movers, right? So they move up and they spike up quickly, and then they come back and let the trending dots and moving averages kind of catch up, and then makes its move for the next move up after that. Riot, letting the trending dots catch up, spiked all the way up to $19 there, and then it's kind of letting the trending dots and the moving averages kind of catch up. MIGI, right? We got this question mark here. Would it retest Mawson Infrastructure Group? Would it retest the 200-week moving average? If it does, that would be insane, right? That would be insane. Even from here, the weekly chart is ultra bullish still, aka overbought. And even that move up to the 200-week moving average would be about 418%. So that would be insane. We going to make it. Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners ETF, right? Kind of letting the trading dots catch up. Wolf, letting the trending dots catch up, spiked all the way to $3.15, had that weekly reversal candle, kind of letting everything kind of catch up, and then we'll see if it spikes up. And there'd be a crazy move as well if it retests the 200 moving average. So let's switch gears and flip over to the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ, we're drawing this out back here on early in January. We had a sell signal, and we're talking about would it find support, kind of pump back up into the trending dots and put in a possible lower high, right? So we talked about it, we covered it, or would it come all the way back up into the upward trend line, put in that lower high back up there, right? So we've been talking about it and covering it. And as of right now, since then, since kind of drawing this out, a couple days ago, it pumped back up into the trending dots, and we'll find out if it puts in that lower high or not, and then comes back down and hits target 2. So it's hit target 1 so far. I circled this because that's bearish divergence, right? So we had bearish divergence. We talked about it. We covered it. And then we had a candle close below the trending dots and the upward trend line. And then it came back down. Price hit target 1. Went below target 1. Had a sell signal. Looks like it was possibly finding support based off of lower time frames. And that's all we have so far, right? So that's all we have. It looks like it's finding support on the lower time frames, pump back up, and we'll find out if it puts in that lower high or not. If it does, then we're looking at, target 2, possibly target 3 down here, and then who knows about target 4. And of course, if it's not the next buy the dip scenario, right? If it's not the next buy the dip scenario, then we're going to put a red arrow here and be ready for it, right? So we will be ready for it. But as of right now, we're just looking for the next possible buy the dip scenario. And it would look something like that. So we could actually move this like over here. So even if it did come back down, hit all these targets, price could put in a possible higher low. And this would be your next buy the dip scenario. So kind of that's what the game plan is right there as of right now. You kind of map this out and draw it out. So we got 2 scenarios, right? Is it going to be the next buy the dip scenario, or is it going to break down? You want it to find support at target 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it doesn't, then we'll put the arrow below it. If it starts closing back below target 4, then we're going to be looking at that it's not the next buy the dip scenario, right? So we're going to take it level by level, and we'll continue to watch it as things play out. And let's just keep going. SP 500, again, didn't hit target 1 like the NASDAQ did. So we'll find out. On the lower time frames, there's a rising wedge here. There is bearish divergence on the daily chart. Broke down. It's currently back above the red trending dots as of right now. But it could just be putting in a lower high. It's possible, right? Dow Jones starting to break back down, right? And if you look on the lower time frame, it had another sell signal, right? Had another sell signal, kind of retracing some of that move as of right now. And that's all we have right now on the Dow Jones. It hasn't hit any of these lower targets like, say, the NASDAQ has. It's already hit target 1. We do have a small gap here at 36,200-ish. These are the futures. And then the Russell 2000 is already hit target 1 and came down, almost hit target 2, but it has not. Could pump up, put in a lower high, wherever that is. Had bearish divergence. Trending dots are trending back down. So those are the futures. We've been talking about this on the dollar and on the live streams, right? Would price is spiking all the way up to 102.83, right? And then we were talking about, would it come back down, put in a higher low, and then that would be your breakout, right? Looking for a higher low and then looking for that breakout. This was looking like kind of a fake out at the time. There was a pending buy signal, but it was looking like a fake out, ended up closing back below. And then we were kind of looking like, where would that next higher low be? Well, it already wicked down to that same area, right? So you can kind of see the trending dots kind of moving up. So from that point, we had drawn this out a few days ago. And so this could be that higher low. And then based off of candle closes, that could be that higher low. And a breakout could be coming soon on the dollar, whether today, tomorrow, whatever day it is. And then we see a buy signal all kind of lining up within the next couple of days. And you see it might take a couple of days for the trending dots to kind of catch up as well. So could see a buy signal, a breakout in the dollar, and then price start to take off to the upside from there for a retracement. And that would line up with gold. That would line up with silver leading the way, and crypto assets, and even the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, stuff like that. So we'll see. 10-year yield, we talked about, it was pumping up, could come back down, back test the trending dots, hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. We covered bearish divergence. We covered the lower high. We covered the lower high, the sell signal, and then hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. We talked about it could be finding support, could be bouncing. There was a buy signal. Now it's kind of retracing a little bit, letting the trending dots kind of catch up, and then could find support and then come back up for a bigger retracement. So the VIX, a low, had a higher low. It's possible it puts in another higher low, a couple buy signals, and then find support, and that would kind of line up with the dollar and some retracements as well. We talked about how the VIX came up and spiked up and hit the 200-week moving average. You got the 200-week moving average trending down, but it's up there at $22. It's hit one target so far of the 4 targets, and it hasn't hit any of these target 2, 3, or 4 as of yet. Could put in that higher low. Too early to say, but as of right now, you got a low, a higher low, higher high, higher high. Could put another higher low and then take off to the upside from there. So that's the VIX. What else? Let's move over to the Magnificent Seven and take a look at them. NVIDIA making all-time highs, right? NVIDIA just continues to make all-time highs over there at $534. Remember, we still have this huge, massive gap at 20% or bigger over here at 306, or 305, whatever it is. And eventually we're expecting the gap to get filled, but it hasn't been filled as of yet. So that's what we're continuing to watch. Eventually, I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Eventually, a 20% gap is going to get filled. You see it was a huge gap left open from May 2023. When? We don't know. Maybe it's waiting. Maybe the 200-week moving average will be moved up into the 20% gap area and it'll be a confluence area where maybe NVIDIA comes back down. Takes some time to play out, right? Takes weeks, if not months, to play out. Kind of puts in that high, comes down. You got the 200-week moving average kind of moving up and then comes back, fills that gap at some point, right? We don't know. But I would be surprised if it doesn't fill that gap sooner or later, right? Meta, it's been pumping up. The all-time high was, I think that was all-time high. Nope, was not all-time high. It was a 2023 high, right? And it's just below that as of right now. Not much going on today. 0.11%, so kind of flat on Meta over there. And then you've got Amazon, right? Amazon had a sell signal. You had a high over here at 155. Was breaking down from this upper trend line. Sell signal. Could be putting in a possible lower high. Too early to say. As of right now, there was a buy signal, right? And we'll see if it closes back above the trending dots. If so, it's still bullish at that point. And it's probably bullish on the weekly chart as well. And so it's been bullish on the weekly chart, still bullish on the daily chart as of right now after that one sell signal. But we will be watching it carefully, right? We'll be watching and see if it puts in a lower high on Amazon. Microsoft kind of flat today at 0.15%. Not much really to report there. Tesla had a sell signal the other about a week ago, right? So it had bearish divergence followed by a reversal candle and then had a sell signal and see if it continues to trend downwards. We got the trending dots as well. If it's going to continue to trend downward, you'd expect lower high to be put in at some point. Maybe it'll find some support at a key target area, wherever that is, come back up, put in a lower high, and then who knows if it comes back down from there, right? You can kind of see that could be possibly, one of those head and shoulders, possibly, who knows? And then you've got, if you draw it out like that, this is just a quick eyeball test, right? Who knows if that works out or not? That's why, patterns, take it for what they are, right? Could come back up like that. So we'll see if that works out or not. But, I'm not a huge pattern trader. We're counting out, though. We're calling out bearish divergence. We called out the reversal candle, and then price broke back down below this upper trend line, the trending dots, and then we had a sell signal, and it continues to be bearish on the daily chart. And there's room to the downside, right? There is room to the downside on Tesla. So we'll see. Doesn't mean it can't find support here. There's a lot of action over here. So it could find support, bounce back up, possibly put in a more defined lower high, right? Apple down 0.61% today, hit all the way up to almost $200. We were talking about how it was looking like a possible lower high, right? Another possible lower high. And then it gapped down with the sell signal. It was starting to get oversold down here, right? We were talking about how it was getting oversold. And then down here, we kind of drew it out that, hey, what if price pumped back up, closes this gap at 191, 192-ish, right? And then it kind of rolls over. That would be a lower high being put in. We'll find out if that happens or not, or if this is just a higher low. It could be just a retracement of this massive move, a higher low, and it kind of turns back around to the upside from there, right? So why are we leaning towards that it could be a possible lower high? Well, because the weekly chart had a sell signal as well, right? So there was a sell signal on the weekly chart. There's longer term bearish divergence. It's possible it pumps back up, puts in a lower high, and then see if there's a bigger correction. It's one of the few Magnificent Seven stocks that never retested the 200-week moving average, and the 200-week moving average is down here about 145. We'll see if that plays out or not. It is possible, something to pay attention to. But as of right now, it is bouncing right now. So Google still hovering around, I think, 2023 highs, right? So still bullish on the weekly chart, still above the trend line, still bullish on the daily chart. All of these are bullish on the weekly or the daily chart as of right now. That's the Magnificent Seven. And then we're going to circle back around and kind of take a look at some of your requests. And then one thing I wanted to point out was that natural gas. We've been talking about it. We've been covering it, right? Natural gas looked like it was finding bottom. It was getting oversold. Then we were talking about could be a breakout. It did put in a higher low, and then it started breakout to upside with a buy signal there, and then hit 3 out of the 3 targets so far. There was a 4 target down here, but I removed it because for visual purposes. So just call it 4 out of 4 targets. What if price comes back up and hits the 200-week moving average at $3.84? That'd be a massive move. It doesn't seem like a massive move, but when you're playing the futures with leverage and you take that breakout, it's up 28% multiplied by leverage. That's a massive move. All the way up there, 50+% multiplied by leverage. That's a massive move. And then UNG is the stock version of that, right? UNG is the stock version. And so we were talking about a lot of similarities, right? It should move very similar. Oversold. Looks like it's starting to find bottom, possible higher low. Then there's a buy signal, broke out of this downward trend line, and it's ultra bullish on the daily chart. Full disclosure, yes, I'm playing the futures. Yes, I have options on UNG right now, and it is pumping hard. Woo-wee! UNG and natural gas futures is pumping hard. I don't cover it as much because a lot of people probably shouldn't be trading this because it's high risk with futures, and it's a quick moving stock, and especially with options, you can lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. So, I don't go all in on it, but I did play this with options, and I did play natural gas on futures, and wow, it's pumping hard right now. So with that, I think we covered a lot of it in the first 15 to 30 minutes. We got 38 minutes towards it. So we're going to circle back here and take a look at PSIL ETF. So let's take a look at that over there. PSIL, right? And let's go from there. Let's take a look at it. And let's see. Take a look at it. And let's see. I think we have watched you long enough to know what you're going to say. Weekly is bearish, but bullish divergence. Daily bullish, but let's see. All right. Let's take a look at it. PSIL. Bullish on the daily chart, right? Psychedelics ETF. Oh, God. Here we go. Although, what are you watching over there? Psychedelics? Oh, man. All right. So let's zoom out. Let's kind of see what you're talking about on the weekly chart. Right? So it's possible it found bottom, right? So it was all the way up there at $10.72 and it dropped, right? Dropped all the way down 88%. So first thing I want to say is like it corrected 88%. So it's always a better buy than say if you bought it up here, right? And then it dropped 88%. So it is on sale, and then we'll kind of dive in from there. So let's take a look at it. Longer term bullish divergence. You can see the indicators picking it up even back here and picking it up all the way here. So if you look at it, going back to May 2022, even the indicator is picking up longer term bullish divergence, right? So longer term bullish divergence, that's a positive, right? And then it's starting to make its move on the weekly chart, right? There's even a RSI buy signal last week, and there's 2 candle closes back above the trending dots. Most likely, we're probably going to see a green trending dot next week or this week, sometime in the near future, right? And you've already got a buy signal on the daily chart. So if you kind of like map this out even longer term, right? You can kind of see that, hey, it was starting to break out, going sideways, regaining the trending dots. So it's starting to make its move at $1.55. So I don't know if you're already in it or not, but it's currently still bearish on the weekly chart, but there are signs of it turning around. And we could see a buy signal in the near future, Aldo, on the sharpshooter candles 3.1. There was already an RSI buy signal on sharpshooter RSI. So last week there was already RSI buy signal, and now it's making a move, and it could be flashing a pending buy signal any day now on this weekly candle. So looking at it, there's a lot of positive reasons why price could come back up above $2.50, right? A lot of reasons. If you go to the daily chart, it was pretty gappy back here. Some of it was filled, right? But it is pretty gappy. And then we'll see if there's any gaps. No gaps up there on the daily chart. But there's a lot of area up here that could be retested or refilled. $2.50, $3, right? So those are just kind of like some eyeball test targets. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only. And obviously, it's for entertainment purposes only, right? So with that said, there is a buy signal on the daily chart back here. And I'm not in this, right? But there was the last buy signal at $1.39. And it looks like the weekly chart is about to flip bullish. It's already had an RSI buy signal on the weekly chart. So the overall trend is starting to make its move. Doesn't mean it can't come back for retracement first, right? And expect pullbacks along the way. Hope that helps, Aldo. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions over there. What else? You filled that gap. We could take a look at you. So one of the AI stocks I called out at the bottom, right? One of the AI stocks I called out at the bottom does have a pending sell signal. And let's see. Yeah, this gap here. Yeah, basically filled that gap. That's what you're talking about over there. There's a gap here at $35.50, and looks like it did fill that gap. You're right. There was bearish divergence. So kind of zooming out here, we're calling this out back here, right? So I put out two AI videos, and then I talked about Unity software. It looked like it was kind of lagging, so I put out a second video on Unity software back here, way back here, like $25. I put out that video, and then since then had a buy signal, hit 4 out of 4 targets, had bearish divergence, looking like a lower high with a pending sell signal. So even though it filled that gap, we're going to find out if it's going to find support or not, right? So it's possible to find support, and then that would be your next higher low. But it could also come back down lower too, right? So it could come back down lower like that, and that would be your next buy the dip scenario. So, if you're kind of watching this, maybe it's something like that. That's kind of more of a steep trend line. Maybe it ends up being something more like that. But at some point, it could put in a higher low, and that would be your next buy the dip scenario. The weekly chart is still bullish, kind of letting the trending dots catch up. So it kind of makes sense for that as well. So we kind of zoom in here, right? And yes, it could go lower than the trending dots, but let's just say it doesn't. Let's just say the trending dots kind of catch up, and then there's that next possible buy the dip scenario like that, right? Just kind of move everything up like that. So maybe it kind of lets the trending dots and the moving averages kind of catch up, and on the daily chart, it goes through that correction for a few days or more, right? Maybe even move it out. It puts in another wick up there at some point, and then that higher low would be a move out for the next possible buy the dip scenario over on Unity Software. ETH BTC breaking down. We can take a look at ETH BTC. We looked at it the other day, but we already know that it was breaking. The weekly chart is still ultra bearish, right? We talked about there's that buy signal, got rejected off the 200-week moving average, then it had a sell signal, and then it's been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight days down, right? So it had that breakout buy signal all the way back down, right? Could put in additional longer bullish divergence and eventually, right? Eventually hit some higher targets up there. But as of right now, it's ultra bearish. We don't know where the bottom is. We'll see if it goes through a bottoming phase. As of right now, that breakout was sold off hard. And we know that because Ethereum itself is breaking down while Bitcoin, right, back below this upward trend line, hit target 1, while Bitcoin was making a move to the upside, right? So that's what we're kind of watching. Aunt Pelosi bought some, so not coming back to fill the gap anytime soon. Which one did she buy? I can't remember. We were talking about it. Angel C, hi Jesse, could you please give your perspective on Hood stock medium term outlook? Sure. Are you in it to win it, Angel? Let me know, Robinhood, if you're in it already. But going back here, we had a buy signal at $9, right? I'm going to say, without looking at it, this is overbought, and then probably bearish divergence as well. Yep, there was bearish divergence, right? And then an RSI sell signal. And this is even a sneaky lower high after the bearish divergence. Sneaky lower high. Candle closes back below. This could be another lower high and then possibly a sell signal after that. So the retracement could be on. If you look at it, eyeball test without even mapping it out, this is probably target 1, probably target 2, probably target 3, and then probably target 4, right? So that's what we're probably looking at on Hood. So it is possible, you got the lower high, comes down, puts in another lower high, right? Who knows, another lower high. And then that's the next buy the dip scenario, or all the way down like this. And then you kind of map it out like that as your next possible buy the dip scenario, right? But as of right now, it's going through correction. You can even see possible kind of head and shoulders that could build out that right shoulder, come back down, break that neckline, come back down, hit target 3, possibly even target 4 that haven't even mapped out, just eyeball testing it, right? Eyeball test, break out like that, break it down kind of like that. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But that's what I'm kind of watching on the Hood right now. Bearish divergence, followed by a lower high, broke down, coming back up into the trending dots, rejected, maybe puts in that lower high, comes down, hits lower targets from there. Hope that helps, Angel. Dalibor, Tomic, can you please check Riot or Mirror? Yeah, we took a look at it already. We just took a quick glance at it. There wasn't really much else to report on it because we've been watching it. But we can circle back to it. But I wanted to look at MicroStrategy. I put that on there as well. There is a pending sell signal, right? So I put that on the title as well. Remember, there was posts going around that Michael Saylor had SEC filings of, and I didn't go on the SEC website to file it to look at the filing myself, but I saw screenshots of the SEC filing, roughly over $200 million worth of shares being sold. That was back on January 4th. We talked about it, covered it. And then price broke down from the trending dots, right? There was bearish divergence going all the way back to November 10th, right? So bearish divergence and then possible lower high. Michael Saylor was selling on the possible lower high, right? And then price breaking down on the daily chart below the trending dots, below the upward trend line. And now we have a pending sell signal, and 2 of the 4 targets have been hit so far. It is possible that we see MicroStrategy come back down to 520. It's possible we see MicroStrategy come back down to 460. we will see below that if or if it could be the next buy the dip scenario on MicroStrategy. But yeah, since you asked, we can take a look at Riot and Marathon Digital a little bit closer. But we already covered it a little bit. They're all starting to look a little bit similar. There is bearish divergence. Price is overbought, right? Coin bear flagging on Delabar Tobik. Yeah, we can take a look at it. Coin bear flagging. We're at 50 minutes, so we got a little bit of time here. Try to keep it to an hour or less. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So Riot had the bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence. And then this could be a possible lower high. So we'll see. There was that sell signal, pump back up, see if it puts in a lower high. It's possible it comes back down. But eyeball test, I can tell you that, target 1, probably target 2, and then close. If not, target 3 was already hit, and then possible target 4. So we will see if it puts in the next buy the dip scenario, wherever that is. See if it hits additional targets to the downside on Riot. Could be a possible lower high. The trending dots are trending down. It's going to be very similar thoughts to Marathon Digital, except it's currently back above the trending dots. And it never had a sell signal on Marathon Digital. So we will see if it puts in a lower high or not. There was no bearish divergence on Marathon Digital, so that's a little bit different as well. So we'll take a look at that. So covering that, and then Coin. Let's take a look at Coin. You're saying that Coin has a bear flag. Definitely could be a bear flag, right? So if you kind of mapped out like this, right? Let's see. Probably got to go on a lower time frame almost. Probably got to change it to like a candle line, right? So if you went like that, could be a bear flag-ish. It's hard to say, but it could be a bear flag-ish. If it did end up being a bear flag, right? Then you could see it kind of. That's how you draw it out, right? But also eyeball test too. So you can see the trending dots are trending down as of right now. It's back below the trending dots, multiple closes below it. And let's switch this back to candles. And you can see looks kind of more like a bear flag with the candles itself. But even more important than that, eyeball test of the sniper targets, probably looking at target 1, possibly target 2, target 3, and then target 4. And then you can even see that if that does turn out to be a bear flag, right, probably bring price back down to target 3 and target 4 from there. Those are eyeball tests on the targets itself. So I'd have to map it out and go through all that, but I'm not going to do that here on the live stream. So that is Coin. With that, let's go back up into Bitcoin, 46,000, still trending up towards the fourth longer term target over here, 48,600. Then we will find out if it's going to break down from there, possible put it in a lower high, and then put in that next possible buy the dip scenario before the halving. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. Could just go straight to the moon. Could just go to 1 million Bitcoin. Could just go to $250,000 Bitcoin tomorrow. Could just go to 0 Bitcoin tomorrow. Yeah, I've got a little bit of sarcasm here going on, but we'll take it level by level, step by step. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and help me, help you, help me, and we'll continue to grow this live stream. And with that, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Did the live stream end? It says there's an error. I might still be live streaming. Should we just get back in the charts? That's hilarious. It says error that I can't end the live stream. It's so funny. Yeah, can't end that live stream. I guess we're just gonna keep live streaming. Should we just live stream? live stream all day. Wow. Wow. Let's see. Let me hit the refresh. Change the may not be saved. Let's see. Let's refresh everything. We may have to get back in the charts because it doesn't want me to end. Did you guys make it so that did you guys hack into the live stream and make it so that I can't quit live streaming? You can make me live stream all day long. That's hilarious. We're only at 55 minutes. I guess we could just get right back into it, right? Let's see. All right, there we go. I guess we're just gonna live stream all day. That's what we're gonna do. Might as well put the charts back on. Woo! Still going strong. Still live streaming. It won't end. The live stream that will never end. This is going to be the infinite live stream that never ends. All right. Let's keep going. Gold breaking down. Gold breaking down. Wow. Here we go. Not yet. I guess it doesn't want us to go. I guess it doesn't want us to go. We'll just keep live streaming. That's what we'll do. We'll just keep going. Just keep on live streaming. Let's see. Yep. All right. We'll just get right back into it. Does anyone else want me to chart thing? We can't end the live stream. So I don't know what it is. I've done it like several times on StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. They want me to live stream all day long. We've got the perpetual never-ending live stream on StreamYard. It will not let me end. It's hilarious. We were going to end it at 50 minutes. Here we are, 10 minutes later, still trying to end it. And it just won't do it. It just won't do it. So let's see.